What's happening, guys? Safety Liner C2 here. We've got bus up for sale. We've got two buses. They're both Carpenters, and they're both a little bit odd. So let me show you what I mean. This first bus was submitted by Steven a little while back. And by the way, if you have something that you'd like to submit for one of my videos, throw it in the video request form in the description of any one of my videos, and I will take a look at it. Might just get featured eventually. But this is a Carpenter Cadet that was used by the military. Probably not the way you're thinking of, though. So take a look at this purple and orangish red. I don't really know what color that would be. Carpenter Cadet. This was used as a food truck for this military base. When Steven submitted this, the notes read, "Pretty cool, used for the military." And while it is cool, when I opened this up, I wasn't expecting to see a food truck in there, or a food bus rather. You can see the other side of the bus right here. The exterior seems to be in pretty good shape. Here's the front of the bus. You can tell that this is a late 70s, early 80s based off of this specific body style. Personally, I also find the windshields a little bit odd on this generation Cadet. They're really slanted back and they're really curved as well, but it certainly looks different. The odometer said that there were just over 81,000 miles on it. So here's a view from inside the bus behind the driver's seat. I'll spare you all the food stuff in it, but overall the interior looks to be again in fairly good condition. Here's a view from the front of the passenger side looking back. Notice the window right there, so they would have removed a section of the body right there, and you can see that they put in some paneling right below the window. And if you take a look on the outside, it appears that they did the same exact thing there. It doesn't look like there originally was a wheelchair lift there or anything. You can definitely see the little modification that they did there. Here's the back of the bus looking to the front. This bus appears to have really good visuals and not many blind spots. Obviously, I've never been inside one of these. I've never driven one of these. But just from the looks of it, it looks to not have that many blind spots. Here's a look at the back of the bus. All of this is pretty typical Carpenter except for the generator on the back, but yeah. The seller said that it didn't run and it broke down for various reasons, and that's why they decided to sell it. And it ended up selling for just under $6,000. So I'm wondering what was wrong with the bus, why it wasn't running. The interior and exterior really looked to be in phenomenal shape, and because it was used by the military, again, not in a really official capacity, but it did have government plates on there, it is in surprisingly good condition. And maybe it is fixable to the point where it would be worth something closer to that price. But if it didn't run, even if it did run, I wouldn't say that it's worth that much personally, but still, it's an odd bus, and that's not what I would associate with a military bus at all. So the next one was submitted by Bus 93. This was used for the Virginia state government, and this is a little bit of a rare one here. So this is a 2000 Carpenter Chancellor. So the Chancellor was only offered for like a year or so right before Carpenter went out of business. And mind you, it's pretty much the same exact thing as the Counselor, which was offered for quite a while longer than a single year. But the Chancellor was offered exclusively on the Spartan chassis, which is who ended up buying Carpenter. So take a look. This is the front of the bus. Pretty standard Carpenter FE front. It does look to have high headroom though. You'll see that there are obviously no windows except for the driver window, and that is a transit style window, which is very odd. There's also the transit style window on the passenger side, and there is two doors. Here's the back of the bus. Notice a couple things here. First off being the backup camera, and then notice these two clearance lights on the side, which look kind of odd there. Even more odd is how the tail lights are stacked. There are 4 lights. One would be a turn signal, 2 brakes, and then the reverse lights down at the bottom. So I'm curious as to why the third light's down, the 2 LEDs are there. What? It's It's odd. I don't know why they did that, why they didn't just make those incandescent, but they did. And then they stacked them too, which does not seem typical at all, but they did. And also notice that there is a possibility of a trunk right here. Because this is a front engine bus, there's, well, nothing in the back. And this kind of looks like it could flip up, but I'm not seeing anything, like any way that you could open it. So I'm not exactly sure, but there definitely could be one right there. Here's the dashboard. Nothing too interesting, just yeah. Here's a look at kind of the driver's area overall. Doesn't look like it's in bad condition. There is a passenger seat. Here's the interior of the bus. I'm not exactly sure what this would have been used for. Here's a look at one of the doors. Here's one of the doors looking inside. The only thing I could see going right there is like a computer or a TV or something of that nature. I'm still confused on what they would use this for. I'm not exactly sure. Here's a look at the engine. You can see that there's a Cummins in it. Here's a look at all of the switches. So the panel on the right, you can see that there's little gauges in there. I'm not sure what they were trying to read. It's obviously there to read something. And if we knew what those were or knew what the bus was for, that might help us decipher what the heck all of like this whole bus is. And last but not least, apparently there are only 55,000 miles on there, and it's sold for just over 9,000 bucks. And that's it. So both of those were pretty odd. I mean, this Chancellor, now that I looked at it in more detail than I originally did, it's just, what was this used for? I'm very curious, and why were there little gauges on the control panel? Like, what was this used for? If you think you know, or you have a guess, throw it in the comments. I'm interested to see what you have to say. And also, while you're down there, make sure to let me know which one of these two buses you would buy if you had the available time, money, resources, whatever you would need. For me, I think it would be the Chancellor. It's so odd, and I've just always found the Chancellors and Carpenter counselors of this era so weird. They just didn't really fit in with the other FEs, so I've kind of liked them for that reason, but also found them super weird and just odd. So I think that's what I would do. But hey, maybe you have different thoughts than I do, and that is perfectly okay. I would be interested to hear them, so throw it down in the comments below. Let's have a conversation. So that is going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I always do appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe right down here. It's a magical red button that says you are now subscribed to Safety Liner C2. Make sure you comment up here, down here, over here, or over here. I don't know where they put it down and care where they put it. Make sure you also give this video a thumbs up, or this Chancellor is only going to get more weird. And make sure you also share this video with a friend, show it to your mom, show it to your dad, show it to a guy in a random street. I don't care, don't let anything happen to you. So yeah guys, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching.